Welcome everybody, my name is Michael and today we're discussing about Kwon. He was released this year from Montenegrin authorities back to US authorities over his role and involvement with one of the largest events back in 2022, something that inspired a huge downturn for the cryptocurrency market. Because of Terra and Luna, there was billions and billions of dollars that evaporated from the market, and the US government is now estimating that there has been over 1 million victims. After the market collapsed, a couple major players, including Three Arrows Capital and other companies, went bankrupt, and it was just a huge, massive, chaotic effort to try and recover from this. And here we are now finally in 2025, where we're going to see the consequences of what's going on. So Kwon was the mastermind, the CEO, the founder, and with that, on January 6th, so that was today, the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York, the U.S. Attorney Daniel Gitner has notified the court of procedures to inform Kwon's victims of their rights in the criminal case. Now, since there were so many, and the U.S. court doesn't even know exactly how many, they estimate that there's exceeding a couple 100,000 people, maybe potentially even 1 million or more. They decided, well, it's a little impractical to do other methods of trying to inform all these victims about their rights. The best thing is the government would set up a website with public proceedings regarding Kwon's status. And quote unquote, while it's difficult to precisely quantify the number of Kwon's victims in light of the sheer number of purchases and sales of Terraform's cryptocurrencies and the manner of those transactions, many of those transactions and those assets occurring on foreign exchanges and through digital asset wallets or crypto trading accounts without any personal identifying information, the government estimates that the number of victims in this case exceeds hundreds of thousands of individuals and entities. Potentially totals more than 1 million. Absolutely crazy numbers. Obviously, that's why this had such a huge impact on everything in 22, 23, and beyond. So Kwon appeared before a U.S. judge right after the new year on January 2nd for his first time following his extradition from Montenegro. He pleaded not guilty to 9 felony charges for fraud revolving around Terraform, and he agreed to be held in detention. So Terra and the whole ecosystem collapsed in 2022. He was arrested in Montenegro after a big manhunt after he fled South Korea, and on unrelated charges in 2023, he remained in the country as the U.S. and South Korea were both fighting and trying to attempt his extradition. Now, Kwon will actually be facing the same jurisdiction, the criminal charges in the same jurisdiction as a couple other high-profile cryptocurrency executive cases. Recently, FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried, CEO of former CEO Celsius, Alex Mashinsky, former Binance CEO Changpeng Zhang, he pleaded guilty to one charge. He was sentenced in the Western District of Washington, but all three of them had to go through New York. Montenegro did not decide up until December 2024, hey, we're going to release him to U.S. custody. He's going to be sent to face the criminal charges over there, and probably that's a better move for Kwon to be in an American prison compared to a Montenegrin prison. Who knows? Some people are saying, well, it's better for him to go to South Korean prison, and he doesn't want to be in an American prison because he's facing potentially over 100 years. There's different arguments. It's possible there may be a plea deal to try and reduce the amount of charges, or, they're going to try and go forward completely full steam ahead with the criminal trial. In April 2024, a U.S. judge found Kwon and Terraform liable for fraud as part of a civil case that was filed by the U.S. SEC. There was approximately a $4.5 billion in disgorgement, civil penalties, and prejudgment interest that were, Terraform and Kwon agreed to pay that amount. Altogether, it was a $40 billion collapse, and he's facing over 130 years in prison. If this is a similar case, he's 33 years old, similar to FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. And Sam Bankman-Fried had some excellent lawyers. This is, again, another high-profile case. He's going to spend decades behind bars. Or it could be a similar situation to Bernie Madoff, where that's it. He's going to receive one of the highest sentences ever. And it's going to only get worse over time as there's more cryptocurrency criminals, especially if they're all getting sentenced by the same judge or by the same court, because now they have precedents. And they realize, oh, all of these guys, well, let's show the public a lesson by teaching these criminals, hey, you can't do this, and then sentence them to 50, 100, 200, 500 years. Basically, the rest of their lives they're going to be spending in prison. According to the indictment, Do Kwon secretly struck a high-frequency trading deal with a company to artificially restore UST's dollar peg through large-scale purchases. The SEC civil fraud trial revealed the unnamed trading firm was called Jump Crypto. Now, this misled a lot of investors about the stability and volume and sufficiency of the Terra ecosystem. Another critical component of Do Kwon's DOJ case consists of misrepresentations regarding the Luna Foundation Guard. Do Kwon portrayed LFG as an independent organization with billions in reserves to defend UST's peg. What actually happened is potentially, allegedly, as the DOJ and prosecutors are now discovering, hundreds of millions of dollars were misappropriated by Kwon for the LFG from its reserves. Prosecutors allege that Kwon laundered these funds through complex transactions, including tumbling through blockchain networks, exchanges, and Swiss bank accounts, traditional laundering methods. Now, we're going to end off with some great news. Bitcoin is above $100,000 again, reaching 100, 200, 3,000. And with that said, as we continue going and getting more investors, becoming stabler, having more entities, large business, multi-billion-dollar conglomerates investing in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, this is here to stay. It is becoming less volatile. Pre-COVID, there was a lot more volatility than after COVID, and as time goes on, everybody kind of gets the same pattern. It's cyclical. After the halving, here's what happens. You have a good time, you have a bad time. But ultimately, if you're investing in the long run, 5, 10, 15, 20 years and beyond, think of it just like your higher risk 401k. It's going to complement your investment portfolio, and a lot more people are getting in on it. And recently, even in my own line of work, I've talked with a lot of people 50, 60, 70 years old. And I mean, just crazy amounts of cryptocurrency talk for someone I would never suspect 5 years ago to be investing in it. I even had some clients to purchase very large assets using cryptocurrency or the proceeds from their Bitcoin investment. So it's good to see this. I'm very excited, and I can't wait for what's going to happen in the latter part of this year. So with that said, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day and take care. See ya. As always, bye. And if you want to support the channel, consider subscribing to this channel and my other secondary channel, Volvo Car Sales. Thanks so much. Have a great one.